Welcome to the Green Building Show, where we investigate green design and building trends throughout Australia.
This week I'll be speaking with Gary Thornley from Cordell Costing Solutions. He's going to explain the breakdown of where your money goes during a renovation. I'll also be speaking with bathroom renovator Stephen Novkovic, who's going to explain how you can save thousands of dollars during your bathroom renovation. And later we'll profile a home that's the use of Sky-On linear weatherboard drew admiration from this year's Master Builder Construction Awards. Joining us again is Gary Thornley, National Manager of Costing at Cordell Costing Solutions. Thanks for being with us, Gary.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Fantastic. Well, today we're talking about the costings revolving around bathrooms. So is there such thing as an average cost for a bathroom?
There probably isn't, because it just depends on the specification you're going to use and the size of the bathroom. Mm-hmm. But probably generally, if we looked at something like more average, if we looked at something around the, say, 8 square metre mark for a bathroom, you'd probably be looking at around about $12,000 for an average type of bathroom renovation.
Okay, great. And you've said previously that there's three kind of tiers of bathroom, which average, quality and premium. Yeah. Can you give us a little breakdown of the cost for each of those? Yeah, sure.
Probably, as we said, probably around about $12,000 would get you probably an average type of bathroom.
So the quality?
The quality, yeah, around about $12,000. So if we stepped that up, we'd probably look at mid-range, probably around the $18,000 to $20,000 mark. And then if we stepped it up again, probably in the more prestigious type bathrooms, around about the $25,000 to $30,000 mark.
All right, great. So in your opinion, Gary, what's the most expensive part of a bathroom?
Well, probably there's probably two basic things that are quite expensive. Floor and wall tiles. Now they can range from quite a large range. Cost per square metre. You know, probably if you looked at real basic, you know, somewhere in the vicinity of about $20, $25 a square metre, and you could boost that way up to, you know, the $80, $100, $150 a square metre. So that's quite expensive.
Anywhere between $25 and $150.
Sure, and even in some cases, you know, you could even go a little bit higher. But that forms quite an expensive part of a bathroom. The next part, of course, are all the fitments in there, like the bars or the spa baths, or the frameless or framed shower screens in that.
Okay, and what kind of average costs or percentage of the bathroom whole costs could you expect that to cost?
Yeah, probably, yeah, just depending on the bathroom itself, as we said, probably for an average type of bathroom around about the $12,000 mark. And if you looked at probably one of the most expensive areas in that is probably the purchase of your floor and wall tiles if you're selecting a fairly luxurious or prestigious type of tile. So right. And you'd probably expect that to come in at about 30 or 40% of the cost.
Fantastic, okay. And what about a powder room? I mean, that's a nice little value add for a lot of people. I guess what's that going to cost?
Yeah, sure. Powder room. If you're looking at that, it's probably about an average powder room, three square metres, something like that, fairly small. So you know, you look at something like a powder room, just has a low-down suite and a basin and a mirror, that type of thing. You're probably paying around about $10,000 for a renovation like that.
And what would be the cost for, you know, an average family-size bathroom?
Sure. In an average family bathroom, you're probably going to be spending around about the $15,000 mark.
What is one of the big influences in cost with a bathroom renovation?
Well, I think probably it's the floor and wall tiles and the fitment. So let's say you step it up a little bit, and we're talking probably, you know, the $25,000, $35,000 type bathrooms, a little bit larger, a little bit more quality product. That's when the floor and wall tile costs really come in. What's
the one piece of advice you would give to someone who's renovating their bathroom to really make sure their costs stay on budget?
Yeah, again, I think it's probably you look at what your needs are, and of course set your budget. And when you go into that shop and do your selections, stick to what you agreed was going to be the case for your budget in the first place. No, don't get carried away, and don't let your heart take over.
Gary Thornley, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
I'm here today with Steve Novkovic. He's the owner of Bathroom Specialist Renovator, Bathroom Elegance. Thanks for being with us, Steve.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So we're talking today about, we want to give our viewers, you know, a breakdown of the costs of a bathroom renovation and really see what they can get for their dollar. So is there really an average middle of the road cost of a bathroom renovation?
I would say typically a spend for a full renovation would be somewhere between 12 and 18,000 for a typical renovation.
Okay, and what about, say, a budget renovation or perhaps a premium one? Can you give us those two costs as well?
Yeah, a budget renovation, when we say renovation, we mean taking it back to the original concrete and timber frames or the bricks. It'd start from 10,000 for something quite small and simple. It'd probably go up to about 15,000, and then you've got your premium, which is going to start anywhere from 18, 20,000, and it can head up to wherever you'd like.
Yep, great. Yeah. And can you give us a bit of a breakdown in terms of where the money goes in a bathroom renovation? Like, I guess, what's the most cost-intensive part?
Well, you've got two aspects. You've got the labour and material, and then you've got the fittings and fixtures. Mm-hmm. So I would say on a typical bathroom, which is, let's just say $15,000, you'd be looking at around 10 to 12 for the labour and material, and the rest of the money there would go into a vanity, taps, tiles, fittings, things like that. Okay, great.
And what about the typical ensuite? What kind of price are you looking at there?
I would say that would be, on the lower scale, a typical ensuite is probably about three square metres of flooring. That would be about $12 to $14,000, including all the fittings and fixtures.
Okay, great. And powder room?
A powder room, if it's just a toilet and a little vanity there, you've got limited amount of, say, tiling and those aspects, so that brings the cost down. That can be a minimal price, anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to, depending on the fixtures that you've picked there.
Right, okay.
So that's going to be more of a balance on the fittings and fixtures compared to the labour side of things.
Yep, okay, great. And what about the larger family style bathroom?
Yeah, I'd be looking for a larger bathroom. You've got a bath, a shower, probably a double vanity or a larger size vanity. I would say you would be looking at between 15 and 20,000 all inclusive, having a full renovation with quality products.
Cool. All right, great. And I guess, and you mentioned the square metre term before. I guess, how do you dictate the price of a bathroom? Is it really on square metre, or is it really on the features and the amenities and the fittings?
It's just on every aspect of the job. So from demolition, there's going to be a price and a costing on every aspect of that. So is the ceiling staying? Is that going? The tiling, is it tiled to the ceiling? Is it tiled to a certain height? Is it just skirting? Is there more painting? Mm-hmm. Is there? So all those will get broken down individually to come up with the final price.
All right, great. And is there an aspect of a bathroom which can have a greater influence on price than perhaps other? Like, is it the materials that you're choosing for your fittings, or is it the types of tiles you're going to get? What has the biggest influence on price that people can actually have control over?
A lot of it, it's going to be a bit of all those fittings and fixtures. Picking, say, a glass mosaic or a natural stone product is going to lift the labour cost up of doing the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So you're going to pay more probably for that product in the first place, and then you're going to be paying more for the labour side of things. So that can definitely determine final prices.
Okay.
But all of it, you've got custom joinery. As soon as you're dealing with custom joinery and stone, that's going to lift the price up too. So if you can find something that's a item that you can purchase and it suits, that's generally a lot more cost effective as well.
All right, great. And if you could give us a bit of a breakdown on the cost of the individual components, like what kind of costs are you looking at in terms of fittings? I know obviously that's how long's a piece of string, but if you're talking middle of the road fittings, what kind of cost breakdown are you looking at?
Per item or?
Per item or for the whole project?
For a middle of the range project, you'd be looking at fittings and fixtures as a general I would say between $3,000 and $5,000 for a bathroom.
All right.
That's including tiles, and that would be middle of the range.
So pretty much it goes into two parts. There's labour and fittings.
There's labour materials, so the labour component is the manual labour doing it, and then the materials needed like glue, villa board, architrave, things like that, which would be supplied by the renovator. And then you've got a list of items which is either supplied by people such as ourselves or the owner,
Right.
which you go tiles, toilet, taps, the bath, aspects like that.
Yep.
And all the little bits and pieces, towel rails, towel rings,
Okay.
toilet holders.
Great. And what about when it comes to changing plumbing and moving pipes around? Is that going to really knock up the price significantly?
Yeah.
And by how much?
Well, if you can minimise your plumbing moves, you're going to save anywhere between, depending on the amount of plumbing moves,
Yep.
Anywhere from $500 to $2,000.
Right.
So
Okay.
it could be 5 to 10% of the actual cost of the
Right.
bathroom.
So it's definitely worthwhile people trying to keep
minimise.
things where they are.
If they can, yes. But in the same time, for that amount of money, you don't want to be using something that was probably designed 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
and spending that amount of money and not changing. So it's a personal thing there.
All right. Great. Can you give people an idea of how do you go about budgeting for a bathroom?
I think the first thing that needs to be determined is why it's getting renovated. Probably is, are you doing it for sale and to try and make a profit on the money spent, or are you doing the renovation just purely for lifestyle and to be able to use it for you, your family? And once you determine that, then you may end up determining how much you are going to spend. Are you going to go the luxury items, the heated floor, heated towel rail, and things like that?
And once people have a price in mind or a budget in mind, how do they prevent themselves from going over that?
I think it's going to come down to, as well, whoever's doing the job, to having a really detailed quote and every item in that quote to alleviate any extras and charges that are not that are just made, like, when a client changes their mind, you want to have all that predetermined to not have any extras and variations. So that's, I think, the planning stage and the coordinating before the renovation is really important.
Okay.
So you're not making decisions at all when the bathroom started, because that's where your costs are going to go up.
Great. Okay. Final question, Steve. Can you give us an idea of how much value a bathroom renovation can potentially add to a home?
Yeah, that's really hard to answer that question, because you're just not going to know. I believe with the bathroom renovation, worst case is you'll get your money back, and you could potentially make anywhere up to a couple of dollars per dollar spend. But in saying that, has it been renovated to profit, or is it renovated for yourself? And if you are renovating to, say, sell the house, I believe that the house would sell in a lot timely fashion compared to not having a renovated bathroom. So the value would be in a quick sale, or someone purchasing the property potentially. Maybe not more money, maybe. It's really hard to determine that.
Great. Steve, thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
I'm here today with Mark Jamieson. He's the director of Jamieson Architects based in Queensland. Thanks for being with us, Mark.
Okay.
So we're talking today about the Birdhouse, which is a home you've just completed on the Gold Coast. And this home actually picked up a Masters Builders Association's President Award at a recent ceremony on the Gold Coast. That's quite a win. Why do you think this home stood out amongst other nominees?
The main reasons, I guess it's an architecturally designed house that is unique, has a higher level of livability, it connects to the site and the surrounding environment. The architectural design uses common materials in a different way that required attention to detail, and the builder executed the details and the overall construction to a high standard.
So Mark, the judges have said that the home encompasses the surrounding bushland into the living areas. So can you explain how this effect was achieved, and how does it improve the lifestyle for the occupants?
Well, the house itself is on a sloping semi-rural acreage site with Gold Coast City skyline views to the east and the surrounding bushland views. The house was designed as two pods linked by that private central courtyard and the courtyard, surrounded then by and enclosed by openable laser cut screens. And also the built form which encompasses the courtyard provides a green space in the heart of the home that by day provides areas of moving shade, direct sunlight and filtered light, and by night it frames a starry sky. And at night the moonlight casts shadows through the laser cut screens also into the courtyard and residence, which is quite stunning. And alternatively, when the house is lit up, the laser cut screens provide a delicate lantern effect to the house as well.
Fantastic.
And overall, I guess the design of the home maximises views to connect to the surrounding environment and wildlife. It has been designed using passive solar design principles such as cross ventilation, shading of direct sunlight through laser cut screens and roof overhangs, thermal mass, etc.
Great, sounds amazing. And the judges also said that they were impressed with the flow of James Hardie's linear weatherboard from the outside to the inside. Can you explain why you decided to use the linear weatherboard and what effect were you trying to achieve with it?
I guess what we wanted to do, the use of the predominantly external linear board building cladding was carried throughout internally from the courtyard wall to the entry of the home pod. It's a two-storey linear board clad wall is an impressive feature at the arrival space of the home to draw people upstairs to the main living areas on the upper level. And the use of the external cladding, linear cladding, and the laser cut screens internally that further connects the inside and outside spaces and provides interest and a point of difference.
Great.
Now, I guess, again, the screens used internally filter light, provide privacy, and provide a beautiful decorative element.
Mark Jamieson, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.